Hi guys, welcome back to Gracie's Journey and God's Faithfulness. Today we are going to talk about Gracie finally leaving the ICU and moving on to the 4th floor for recovery. Last week we talked about Gracie, the surgery. She came back with open chest, how long it took for her chest to be closed. I'm going to put the link up where you can go back and watch this video. So let's go. Grace was well enough to be moved to the 4th floor, and that was a huge milestone. Finally, Grace was leaving the ICU, and that meant that we were on our way out of the hospital and to our home. It was easier there. It wasn't as intense, but she still needed some really good care. During the surgery, a vessel that transported fat throughout her body, and that vessel was cut, and because of that, Gracie had to be on a special diet as well. Gracie's drainage tube stayed in for a much longer period. One day, Gracie's nurse, that nurse in particular, wasn't very nice. She was okay, but wasn't that friendly, wasn't very nice. But that's okay. It's mind over matter. It's about Gracie's care. And I remember that nurse on that particular morning, when she came, I realized there was something different about Gracie's dressing around the tube. I called her attention to that, and she came and she cleaned the dressing that was around the tube. And when she cleaned the dressing, I realized something, but she dismissed me. I realized that the dressing had some green pus on it. Green pus means that there is an infection. I called her attention to the green pus. I said, no, something is not right. This tube has been infected because look at the pus. There is infection. And she said, no, it's okay. That's normal. I said to her, no, this is not normal. That green pus signifies infection. She said, no. I said, take this thing and take it to the doctor. Show it to her. She did not take it to the doctor. She took the thing and she threw it in the garbage. When I saw that, I said, no, I cannot just leave that like this, because this site has been infected, and if we don't do something and do it now, that could cost my daughter her life. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go to the doctor myself. So I called for the doctor. When she came, I said to her, this site is infected. I told the nurse about it. She dismissed me. I told her to bring the dressing to you. She did not. She threw it in the garbage. The pus that was on that dressing, it was green, and that is saying to me there is an infection. I need you guys to do a swab to find out for sure if there is an infection. I knew there was an infection, but I didn't want to tell them what to do, and I think that's what the nurse felt the morning, and maybe that's why she ignored me. She dismissed it. So the doctor said, okay, we will do the swab. They did the swab, and lo and behold, it came back positive. There was an infection. So when it came back, they told me there is an infection. But I said, what about the tube? What are you guys going to do about it? They said they're not going to take out the tube because they don't want to take out the tube and she still have fluid to drain. I said, I understand what you're saying, but this is infected. That means that the tube also is infected, and you can't leave an infected tube in her. That is going to cause more problems. They said if they take it out and she have more fluid, they have to put another one. I said I would rather you put another one in if there is need for another one, but that infected tube is not staying in my daughter. It is coming out. You guys have to take it out. Being in the hospital for that long, one thing I learned: if you are not strong, if you are someone that will be intimidated by others, if you don't know how to advocate, a lot of things can go wrong. And I thank God for the grace that He gave me, for the discernment that He gave me, for the strength that He gave me, and the wisdom that He gave me, and the ability to stand up and to advocate for my daughter. I thank God for that. So when I advocated strongly about that, the doctor told me, the cardiologist, she told me, okay, they are going to take it out. They removed the tube, and Gracie did not need for them to reinsert another tube, Gracie was okay. But Gracie had to stay on the special diet, and they had to start antibiotics on Gracie. Thank God the tube came out. Thank God they did the swab and they worked on it right away. But had I left it to that nurse in particular, things could have probably gotten a lot worse. Remember, Gracie spent months in ICU. She just left the ICU and came on the 4th floor for recovery, and there is an infection. Had that gone left, Gracie could have ended up going back to the ICU. Gracie could have been in a worse condition. Worst case scenario, she could have died. And imagine all what she had gone through, all what our family had gone through. Because of that one nurse, things could have gone south. But thank God that He gave me wisdom and the strength to stand up and to advocate. And when I say that nurse, I mean that nurse. On the 4th floor, there were many nice nurses. We met nice doctors. Gracie, with her on the 4th floor, our experience was different, and I can understand that because we are not in an intensive care unit. A little bit more relaxed because we were not in the intensive care unit. Things were much better when Gracie was stable enough. You know, for months in the hospital, no windows for fresh air to come in, no sunshine, no sunlight. You know, I started asking them if I could go on walks with Gracie. So I would walk through the hospital with Gracie with an IV pole, with her in a stroller, and I would just push Gracie around. We had a monitor for her oxygen. We had an oxygen in there, and I would just walk around the hospital with her. I would try to find a space where there was sunshine, and I would go sit in the sunshine with Gracie, let her absorb some sunshine, some vitamin D, let her eyes adjust to the sunshine. And one day eventually we had a male nurse. He was so nice. I really loved that male nurse because he was very professional. He was very helpful. And when Gracie was on the 4th floor, it was more parent care. I was doing a lot of the care. They taught me how to do a lot of things. They taught me how to insert the NG tube through her nose down to her stomach. They taught me how to use the monitor and the oxygen, and we had to do the suctioning. You know, my daughter learned a lot as well. I had to do CPR for babies. That was one thing I had to do before Gracie was sent home. That was a must. I had to do that. I had to learn about her total fluid intake. If she was too wet, we would have a problem. If she was too dry, we would have a problem. So we need to know how much fluid she would take in, how much fluid she put out, and make sure it was well balanced. I didn't know that we could go outside. I heard people were saying that, okay, patients were allowed to go outside. So I asked if we could take Gracie outside to get some fresh air, you know, the sunshine, and just for her to experience life outside of this hospital. And he said to me, yeah, sure, we can go. I was like, oh, thank you. I was so happy. I was so happy. I said, thank you so much. And he arranged it because Gracie was not his only patient, so he had to arrange it. And then he said, okay, we're going to go on that day at that time. And I was all ready, prepared everything for when that time came on that day. You were ready to go. And when he came, we put Gracie in her stroller, got the oxygen, got the monitor, got her IV pole, and he went with us because he told us we were not allowed to go by ourselves. Gracie was she still needed a lot of care. So he went with us. We sat outside for a while with Gracie. The glare of the sun, the light, it was too much for Gracie. Oh my gosh, it was so amazing to finally be able to take Gracie outside of the hospital. We were still on the hospital grounds, but we were outside. Fresh air, sunshine, breeze. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Praise God, it was amazing. And then we went back inside with Gracie, and thereafter we were taking Gracie on walks in the hospital. We were taking Gracie outside, and that was very nice, and that was a huge milestone. Praise the Lord. I must say that. Gracie spent more than a month on the 4th floor after surgery and after her part of recovery in the ICU. Gracie spent more than a month on the 4th floor, and I must say publicly, I must say thank you to Shai. Shai is my first child. I must say thank you to her because Shai was amazing. Shai helped us. When Gracie was born, Shai was 18. We had Caleb as a little child, and me being a mother, me being Gracie's biggest advocate, I was at the hospital. Shai was very much involved in Gracie's care. Shai had to learn all the things I learned from the hospital. And the nurses on the 4th floor were so generous. They were so nice. They taught Shai a lot of things because Shai had to learn how to insert the NG tube as well. She had to learn how to suction. She had to learn about the oxygen. She had to learn how to monitor Gracie. She had to learn how to use the stethoscope. She had to learn everything, and she learned all of that. And whilst we were at the hospital, it was parents' care and the nurse, but it was mostly the parents doing all the care. And Shai was very much involved. And even after, when Grace left the hospital, Shai remained very much involved. And honestly, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have Shai to help me. She played a huge role, and I must say thank you to my daughter Shai. Thank you. I love you, and I am very, very, very grateful for all the help, because I know it wasn't easy. It was not easy, and you helped out a lot, more than you were supposed to, and I'm grateful. Thank you. And thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourselves. Until next time, Grace's journey and God's faithfulness continues. Take care. Bye for now.